All right, welcome, Crossroads family. I am excited today to have a conversation with Dr. J.J. Washington, who is the National Director of Personal Evangelism for the North American Mission Board. Wow, I thought my title was long. Um,
Yeah, that is a long title.
but we are going to talk today a little bit about getting ready for crossover. That's going to be a year from now, and I know that sounds like a long ways away, but it is mere moments and months that we want to start thinking and preparing. So, welcome, JJ. Thanks for taking time out today. And I'm just going to jump right in. For those who maybe are not familiar with crossover,
hmm
tell us what it is and why it's important and any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, definitely, Chris. Crossover is an annual evangelistic outreach. It's held the week prior to the SBC annual meeting, wherever that meeting goes. So in 2027, that meeting will be again in Indianapolis. So crossover follows that meeting location. And it's been around since 1989. The first one was in Las Vegas.
Wow.
And so it's been around for quite some time. And some of those guys who were involved in 89 are still involved to the present. Yes. And this is their baby. They look forward to it every year.
That's exciting. Yeah, I remember when I was planting a church, man, like 20 years ago when or more, and and we had the first exposure to having crossover folks come in to be with us. And we had them coming from all over the country, and it was truly a blessing to have
hmm
all those folks to come and to come alongside a little church plant like ours and help. And it was a great thing. Well, so what do you get excited about as far as crossover coming to Indy, and what are some of the opportunities that our churches are going to have to be involved?
Yeah, I look forward to coming back there. We did it obviously in 24. I felt it was very good. We had a good number of churches involved that were hosting events, and then churches inside of Indiana that came into the Indianapolis area to serve alongside those churches, in addition to churches from other states across the country. So it was cool to see that. The gospel was faithfully shared. We saw about 100 and some change come to faith in
Oh
Christ. And
yeah.
so it was a great work. And one of the things I love about always with crossover is the cooperation from, the NAMB as a national entity to the state convention, to the associations, to the seminaries. So we're all working together and focused on one thing, which is advancing the gospel. So that's what I always enjoy about it.
No.
And the opportunity for churches in the Crossroads Association again would be to have the opportunity to host an event. And again, they get to decide on the event that they want to do because they know the context better than us. And the only thing that we ask is that they get lost people there, share the gospel, and invite them to respond. So they can do anything they want. We've seen wrestling matches, we've seen comedy shows, and
Amen.
everything in between. But I
Amen.
can tell you at all those events, they did invite lost people, they shared the gospel, and they gave them the opportunity to respond. So we leave that up to the missionary in that context to decide what is the best thing to do. We
Amen.
just want to come alongside, resource, encourage, equip them to help them do that well.
Amen.
And so that opportunity will be there. And then for those who are outside of the metro area, outside of the Crossroads Association, if you're in the northern part of the state or somewhere else in Indiana, or even outside of Indiana, you can come in on a little short-term mission trip and serve alongside those host churches and help them do more than they probably could do just by themselves, you
Right.
know. hmm
Right. Well, and it's really, I mean, to me, I think it really is, it highlights once again, the power of being a part of the Southern Baptist Convention
Oh
is
yeah,
having being able to accomplish more together than what we can do separately. And
absolutely.
man, it really is. I mean, and I hate to sound sappy about it, but I mean, I'm getting goosebumps right now just thinking about it. So, and,
Yes.
and last year, I remember the number. We had 186 professions of
Okay.
faith, and
Yeah.
one of the cool events last year that I thought was unique is one of our churches did a fishing tournament.
Yes.
I was like, man, that's
Uh,
so, how appropriate is that and how
right. I remember
easy
that.
to launch
Yeah.
into the gospel.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, that's fantastic.
Yep. I
So,
forgot
now
about
we're
that.
also going to be having coming up here real soon, we're going to be having some evangelism training, right?
Yes. Yes.
That's
Yes.
actually in August. So, that's coming up
Yes.
fast.
Yeah.
Now,
Looking forward to that.
one of the things that when people think of evangelism training,
Mm-hmm.
they're sometimes it can make people nervous. It can kind of, I mean, for
Yeah.
whatever reason. What would you say to those pastors, church members who might feel a little bit intimidated by that?
Oh yeah, that's a good one. And we've been doing this since 2022. We came out with the NAMB Evangelism Kit, and we started doing trainings across the country in that August and up until the present. And everywhere we've gone, we hear pretty much the same thing. Man, this is nothing like what I thought. When they heard evangelism training, they thought we were going to drag them out, make them knock on somebody's door. They're gonna have to memorize a lot of stuff, and all those things are good. I've been to those trainings,
Sure.
faith and CWT, all these different things, and they had their value for the time in which we used them. But this training is a little different. It's not necessarily a gospel tool that you're going to come in and learn, like a three circles or something like that. This is really designed to help a ministry leader and some volunteers in this church or staff members or whatever your ministry setting looks like to build a culture of evangelism together. That's what it is. So really it's principle focused. Here's the actions, here's the steps that you work, 1, 2, 3, 4, that type of thing. And it's not a linear approach, it's a cyclical approach. And by God's grace, you begin to see the culture shift over time to becoming more evangelistic. So it's really it's a process that we'll walk through together, and you'll leave with that process knowing, okay, here's what I can go back and do in my local setting to really help build a culture in our church of evangelism.
That's good. Yeah, and that's one of the things I know that you really brought through the last time was that,
Hmm.
not to look at this as just like an event that,
Right.
we're going to pull this thing off, but to really make it a part of the DNA of who
Yeah,
we are.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
exactly.
that's
Yep.
good stuff. Well,
Hmm.
so what are some of the things that churches can be doing right now? Even though, we're
Oh
looking
yeah.
way out, what and along with that, kind of what is that process, that crossover? What are you guys going to be walking along with us as we get closer?
Yeah, definitely. Well, one thing they can do now is start praying. Just start praying and asking God to just to show you what event you should do. What do you have you to do for that time during crossover? It'll be a week long. Some churches start on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Some go the whole week, but it's from Monday to pretty much Sunday, that entire week. And so they can begin praying now about what the Lord would have them to do. I would say start there, and then also just thinking of some people in your team or in your church setting that are really administratively gifted and strong. I know pastors, that's sometimes that's not in our wheelhouse, and that's
Right.
fine. But who are those people in your church that you probably could delegate this to really kind of be the point person on the details, the logistics, and etc. And just implementing your vision, putting wheels to it. So I would say those would be the two things I would think about. One, what should we do? Two, who could I bring alongside to help me with the execution of it? The planning and execution of it is where you could start. Once we get there in August, we'll do the evangelism kit training, but then we'll talk a little bit about, okay, here's how you can go ahead and register. If you want to participate in crossover as a host church, or if you're coming in to serve, if you're outside of that Crossroads Association, and then we'll walk you through the next steps of onboarding you. Now we have like this online training platform where you can do it at your own pace, and so a lot of it be online. And we'll have a team that will walk with you from beginning to end. So if you have questions or you need help with this or you're not understanding this, we're there to help you with that. And then we'll come in March sometime, and we'll get a date soon for that with you guys that works for your calendar. We'll do another in-person training. That's kind of just dotting I's, crossing T's. And then in June, crossover is here. It goes just that fast. Like you said, it sounds far away, but these months go really
Telling
fast.
you, bro.
It does. And so, but you'll have a good time. I'm sure you will enjoy it. What we hope for for crossover is it's not that it's just an event, but it's something that a church could use to, if they're already strong evangelistically, this can just be a way to sustain that. If it's struggling evangelistically, this can be a way to ignite it.
Mm.
And that's what we hope when we leave, that one of those two things happen. You know what I mean? Depending on the ministry setting.
That's good. So for a church that maybe has never done this before,
Hmm.
is there help for them along the way? I mean, do you guys kind of come alongside to help them begin to think through what this process looks like?
Oh yeah, we have a lot of guys that are single staff churches,
Oh yeah,
where it's a single staff
that's us.
pastor, um, that are involved in crossover, and so that's our primary. I would say our primary participant. We see a lot of those. You see a few mega churches, but mostly who we're dealing with are single staff churches. And so a lot of them, the folks that we're dealing with are the volunteers, where the pastor may have delegated it to, a volunteer in the church, and we're working with that volunteer because the pastor's like, okay, I'm not able to get in the weeds on it, but this is the person that I've appointed. I trust them, work with them, and we will work with them, and we will help them get all the way to the end. And so, yes, it's not a whole lot. I mean, most churches do events anyway, as part of their
Right.
evangelistic strategy. So it's not anything that would be new. And some of the stuff it may be that we offer is optional. So some of the things that you say, oh, I'm good on that. I know how to promote an event well. I don't need that video. That's fine. You don't have to watch it. There's some things we'll need, like there's just certain things we'll need to know what you're doing, and we'll need to kind of know by a certain time frame so we could put it on our website so volunteers can sign up for it. So there'll be some deadlines with a few things, but we give you plenty of notice, and reminders,
Yeah,
and we're willing to help you and walk with you through the process. So you won't be at it alone. I
that's
trust
good.
trust me on that. You
That's
won't be
good.
out there by yourself.
Well, and I think that was another great thing, and I'm assuming you're still doing the same thing along once a month. There's going to be all right. Focus on this
Yeah,
month,
yeah.
and
We
then
try to do that.
yeah. So
Instead of throwing all at you at once.
yeah, that's
Yeah, and
good.
and the grants are still there as well for churches
Awesome.
who are participating. We help with finances for the event to be able to pull it off and stuff like that. So that's there. And then obviously the volunteers who are looking to come in and serve, looking for places to serve.
That's good. Well, and now speaking of that, I know
Hmm.
this was something that this question came up, and I'm sure it
Hmm.
will again. Is that okay? We've got volunteers now. Are those volunteers, if they sign up to come and work with a particular church, how do we know kind of what we're getting there? You know what I
That's
mean?
a good question. Yeah. What we do with the volunteers, you're right, because the church that's receiving them, in this case, a Crossroads church, as well as us as NAMB, we don't know them either. So we want to make sure we put them through a process where they show up on your doorstep. So depending on what the event is that the church is doing, like if it's kids, all of them gonna be back. If you're doing a kids event, every volunteer is gonna be back around. They're gonna have to do ministry safe, sexual abuse awareness training, those type of things before they get there. So we'll do all the vetting. If it's like a block party where it's just kind of, it's not really an event that's geared towards children, but it's just for like the public, then there is no background check in there. There's no ministry safe, but they do a code of conduct. We do have them sign a liability waiver. That way, your ministry is protected from any type of litigation. We're protected. The state's protected. The association is protected. So we'll do emergency contact. So if someone's hurt, we know how to get in contact with someone that's related to that volunteer to let them know what's happened. So those are some of the things that we do. We get that information. So we take the burden off of the host church to do all of that vetting and the collecting of all of that information. So you can just focus on your event. Now, when they show up, we just ask that you orient them on your ministry context so they know, okay, this is how we do ministry here, and here's what your duties are going to be today, and that type of stuff.
That's good.
So,
That's
yeah.
good. Well, so speaking of that,
Hmm.
do you have any stories that are just like, man, these are some of the cool things that have happened as a result of
Yeah.
this kind of stuff?
I tell you, we saw a lot this recent past crossover we just finished up a couple weeks ago in
Oh, I
Orlando,
know. Mhm.
and it was a lot of we saw. a lot of churches lean into like sports as their outreach, and saw things like track and basketball clinics and tournaments, and football, girls flag football. I mean,
Nice.
that was a new one, which is a very
It's a big
popular
deal.
sport. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's a
when
big deal.
they pulled in a lot of people in that community. The parents are sitting there, kids are out there competing. They had the 7-on-7, which a lot of the high school football teams use to kind of get ready for their fall season, with the skill guys, quarterbacks, running backs, and those type of things, defensive backs competing. And a lot of teams came in, and they were sharing the gospel. A lot of kids got saved through those efforts.
That's
It was
awesome.
cool to see that. So that was awesome. And we've seen our usual block parties. Those were effective. They did those well. They brought in other things like, local clinics. They brought in, I haven't seen when they brought in a local bank, wherever you want to get a checking account. Like they just brought in, they brought in
That's
like
good.
different services
Yeah.
from their community that were a part of that event, which as they promoted that, people came there like, okay, I can go over here and check on this. I can go over here and then I can meet the pastor. It was a lot to offer,
That's awesome.
at their block party. So it built a relationship with a community partner, and then also with the community and then the church. So it was cool. So those are some of the things that we saw this past crossover. So it was a blessing. It really
That's awesome.
was.
That's awesome.
Hmm.
Well, and it's again, just like you said, it's a great way to unite the community, the local, and
Yep.
yeah, and I love the bank thing. That's awesome.
Yeah, that one I never seen. I was like, man, they can go and get you open up a Roth IRA or something. I mean,
We're gonna get your money secure, and then we're gonna get your soul secure. There
yeah,
you
that
go.
was different.
That's awesome. Well,
Yeah.
now on the flip side of that, now what have you
Hmm.
seen as far as what are common like mistakes that you've seen churches like, kind of trip through?
Yeah, I think the main one is feeling like, okay, I got time to do it, and then they finally wake up in like, April, and they're trying to cram and get everything in, and some get it done, but sometimes those events are not well attended,
True.
because you're at that point, you're about 8 weeks away from your event. So promoting it, and people seeing it and knowing about it in the community is kind of late,
Yep.
to get the attendance that you would desire. So you need to have your plans done much earlier, so that then you can just focus on getting the word out, whether you're going to do door hangers or, flyers or mailers or social media, whatever. You just need to put it everywhere where everybody can see it, to get the attendance. So I would just say, waiting very late in the process to start. If you're able to start early, get it mapped out, and it's done, and then you can shift towards, okay, now let's start promoting it heavily to the community. And so, yeah,
It's good. It's never, well, really, we've been prepping our leadership team saying, hey, listen, I mean, we know it's coming.
yeah, yeah,
Start
yeah,
now, start thinking, dreaming, and again, like you
yeah,
said, is the vision, start really, going to the Lord, casting the,
yeah.
have
Mm,
that dream. What could it
mm,
look like?
right.
I heard somebody say something today that I thought was really good. He said, if you're not functioning by priorities, you're going to function by pressure.
Mm.
And I
That's a
was
good
like,
way to,
that's really good.
yeah,
I'm going to use that as
that's
often
a
as I
good
can.
statement. Yeah,
Man, I
that's a
am
good
so,
statement.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm loving that. So yeah, that's good. So from just thinking about, from a participation standpoint,
Hmm.
um, how how are you seeing that, when churches really lean into this thing, how is it affecting them long term?
Oh man, two things. One, when they're able to see the fruit,
Amen.
people come to faith, or people that, are already believers, but, just were, I don't, walking at a guilty distance. They just hadn't been to church, not connected to a local, church and those type of things, and they re-engage. People that were saved previously but never followed through with baptism want to now make follow through in that commitment. So seeing that type of stuff really has been a huge encouragement to a lot of the churches. And then also to see the cooperation. You might connect with a church from Mississippi. And now you have an ongoing relationship with
Relationship.
that church. You might want to go down there and do something with them next. You know what I mean? But the relationships that are formed, some of the cool things I love is where we'll have, like, we had a group, it was a church called La Redemption. It was a Haitian Baptist church in Florida this past year that did a VBS. We had a church that's primarily Anglo, from Marietta, Georgia, Johnson Ferry Baptist Church. They come up and serve that event, and you just see the beauty of the kingdom. You
Amen.
know what I mean? And we're all in this. We're all in the kingdom together. We're all in the SBC tribe together. So sometimes you're able to just see some of that naturally happen, um, where these different groups from different ethnicities are serving together. What a huge display of the power of the gospel to a
Amen.
community. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
So
Oh
I
yeah.
love seeing that when that happens. Um, and so those are some of the things that come out of it. We had, for the first time, we had 20 Haitian churches that did crossover this year, which was, we never even had, I don't even know if we've ever had Haitian church
That's
participate.
yeah.
We had 20. And a lot of these guys, they were able to see, because they were on the roster for SBC, but they weren't engaged. Now, when they were able to participate and see the value of cooperation,
That's
what
good.
it does is it helps them take a step closer to say, you know what, let me step in, let me engage a little more with the convention. You know what I mean? And so we see some of that where more folks are now inspired to engage more into their association, more into their state convention, and those type of things. Take advantage of some of the things the entities can help them with as well. So we're trying to create a win at the end of the day for the kingdom, for the local church, the association, as well as the convention.
Amen.
That's our goal,
That's good.
yeah.
That's good.
Hmm.
Well, so if you could, I mean, thanks for, sitting down with us today.
Oh
And
yeah,
and we're going to be seeing you in August.
yeah. August
And
25th, I
yeah,
think it is, or
yeah,
4th. Yep.
yeah.
Hmm.
So, how would you challenge a pastor? I mean, most of the
Yeah.
guys that are looking at this are going to be pastors.
Right.
How would you challenge them? What would you ask them to do?
I would say this definitely, it's take advantage of it. I'm telling you what, it would be a no-brainer for me, because here's what I tell people. People, so human resources and financial resources
Amen.
to move the gospel forward. I'm going to take that all day long. If it's coming to my city, I want to say yes. Because listen, we don't go everywhere.
That's right.
I mean, it's just
Right.
and we don't get to determine. It's pretty much determined by the executive committee office. Okay, we're going to San Antonio, or we're going to St. Louis, or we're going to Orlando, and it's not a whole lot of cities that can host a convention of this size. So that's why we're not in every city. It's
Yeah.
only a few select places that we're able to go, and so Indianapolis just happens to be one of those. And so, man, I would take advantage of it, because again, it's just added manpower to allow you to accomplish more than you probably could with just your fellowship, your church fellowship, and then resources that you give into the CP cooperative program, you give in the Annie Armstrong Easter offering, coming back to you to do ministry. You know what I mean? So for me, I would say, brother, it's a no-brainer. Take advantage of the financial resources and the added manpower to move the gospel forward.
That's
Period.
good. Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, whenever I'm talking to a pastor, it's like, well, what do you need? It's always, yeah, I need more people and more money.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
God
more
is
people.
sending it.
That's
He
right.
is sending it. This is
Hello.
answered prayer.
Hello. Hello. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well,
Hey, and
and
keep in mind, we were supposed to go to Salt Lake.
I know.
We were supposed to go to Salt Lake City. Something happened with their facility out there, so it got moved back to Indianapolis. And so here we
Yeah,
go.
I know. I know. When they announced it, I was like, oh man, they're coming back here.
We're
Oh,
coming
oh
back.
wow.
So
So
yeah,
that's
yeah.
That's good, man.
Hmm.
Well, hey, brother, I sure do appreciate you. And
Yes,
yeah, thanks for spending some time today. And we're gonna do our best
I
to see if
appreciate that.
we can launch that 186 that we wanna move the
Yeah,
needle on that. and see
Hmm.
more people, more churches getting involved here.
Absolutely. I got the
Yeah,
invite.
man, you even got the it. Yeah,
I
that's right. I was gonna
represented
say,
just for this
I
interview.
reckon, yeah, man, I recognize that color, and I recognize, yeah, that's all good. Florida. Good
Well,
stuff.
thank you. I appreciate it, Chris.
Amen. Well, hey, Crossroads family, thank you so much for tuning in to Crossroads Conversations today. And all the information, in fact, I'll link some of the stuff that we've talked about today. Of course, where you can sign up for the training, and I'll even slip in JJ's email there.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Got
absolutely. We
any
can.
any questions or
Please do.
yeah, that'd be great.
We're
All
ready.
right. Well, we will see you next time.
Okay. Thank you, brother.
Thanks, buddy.